Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you actually working with Vex pieces. So this is the most like relevant video that you'll probably have in this short mini course thing. And it's just going to be about putting Vex pieces together like how it would be on your robot. So this was just a custom piece that I made. To save it, you can do Control S or you can press that button over there and just do whatever name you want, save. Now I'm going to create a new file. I'm just going to click this plus button over here. And now I want to make something with my Vex pieces. So now the Vex library is important. So what I'm going to do is I'm currently in this training folder, but I go back and I look at this folder, and now I go into one of the folders with the parts in it. Let's say, let me go to a channel. So let's say I want to use one of these pieces in my model. Literally all you have to do is drag the piece in. So there we go. It brought the piece in here. Now I can move its position. All I have to do is, use these pointer thingies, turn it, whatever I want. Yeah, this basic movement. Yeah, and then you click OK and you're set. Now, if you want to move it after you did this, you can either go back to this part of the history, right click on it, and then click. Oh, never mind. Okay, I guess you can. Usually it would be edit, but you can't for those, I guess. Alternatively, what you can do is press the M button on your computer. There's also, yeah, right here, there's also move right here, and you select what you want. This is a component, so I have to change move object to components and click on it. And now, oh, hold up. So here's another thing. If it has this anchor symbol, it means it's grounded. So you have to unground it and then you can move it. So now if you look, I can also just like straight up drag it around, but you probably want more precise movement than just spinning it around. So I'm going to use the move thing. And yeah, there you go. So now you're back into this move option. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to create a sketch on the bottom so I can put it flat. When it asks this, it's just asking you, do you want to use this position of the piece or do you want to use the position that you imported it with? And I want to use the position that it's in right now. So it's okay, I'll just do capture position. Now I'm just going to make a flat rectangle. You'll see why in a moment I'm making this. I just want to put the piece flat on the ground. So what I'm going to do is use move again. And I just need to find one point on here that I want to align with the bottom. So let's say I want to, so just click on the general piece first, I suggest, and then click on a location so that you know like what the piece is. Now, another thing you should do is you should use point to point. Point to point is actually really helpful. Essentially what it does is it moves something from one point to the other. Or rather it aligns the points together. So I selected this body, right, or this component, and then I selected a point on the component. Now, just Fusion can be really slow sometimes. Now I just click a point over there and, well, it works. So yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks, but it works. I'm going to undo that. Just point to point. Yeah, so the thing about move is it won't really turn when you use point to point. And if you want to manually move it, you're going to need to change all of these things. So it's kind of messy and yucky. So instead of doing all of that, another tool you can use to move pieces, which in my opinion is much better, is called joint. So if you press J on your keyboard, or if you go to modify, is it? Yeah, there's joint somewhere in here, but you can just press J on your keyboard. So if you press J, you can select a point on here. First, again, select the face that you want it, uh, that you want the point from. So let's say I want this flat face. I just click on the face first. Then I'm going to select a point. Well, it kind of already selected the point for me, but it's okay. And then I select my other piece. So I want this flat end. I see how I clicked the face first, and now I'm selecting a point on that face. So I'm selecting this. Now, if you see, it actually turns the piece along while it's moving. And if I try to move it now, it won't move. Like I can't do anything anymore, even though it's not grounded. And honestly, joints is much better to be using on your robot. Also, you can adjust how things are on there. If you right click on joint, or even while you are doing joint, you could have adjusted it. But while you're on joint, right, I could still change the position a little bit. I don't even necessarily have to have the points remain together. I just needed the points to meet up initially, but now that they've met up, now I can move it again. So instead of joining it to that position, I join it at this position. Now it stays there, and again, it still doesn't move. So ideally, you should use joint because joint is just better, it's just better. Now, I'm going to undo that just because I want it to be completely like that. And let's say I want to connect another channel in here. Um, let's use a plate. Okay. So I dragged the plate in, as you saw. For now, I'm just going to move it up so I can see what I'm doing. By the way, I should have mentioned, but to move around, you can use this thing. You can use this toolbar. So you use orbit to like spin around. You can use this hand, which is pan, to just like pan around, and yeah, those are the main things you need. Alternatively, you can use like the wheel on your mouse to pan, and then shift, and then the wheel on your mouse to orbit around. So yeah, those are really necessary when you're working on Fusion. That's why ideally you don't want to use your Chromebook because you won't have a wheel on your mouse. You'll just be using a trackpad. Anyway, so yeah, now let me join in position. So I press J again. Let me click. Oh, sorry, my Fusion is slow. Okay. I have the face right here. Very slow. As you see on the face, random point on it, I clicked. Now I'm choosing a location. So I want to do the center of this hole. Or not. Okay, I'll just not do the center then. Okay, I click the edge of the hole. Now I align it. First, I'll select the component and the face of the component that I want, and then I'm selecting a location on it. So I want to choose the other edge of this one so that the holes will align. Now, if you see, the holes kind of didn't align, so I should have chose a different point, but I don't really feel like it. So alternatively, you can just, use this thing, the movement you can do while you're having a joint. So you see, yeah, there you go. Things are aligned. Yeah, now if I try moving it again, it won't move. And eventually, after a lot of painful jointing and assembly and dragging things in, you'll build your robot, and your robot will look something like, well, you might make something like, hold on, bro. Yeah, Fusion can be really slow. So even though I'm using it on a computer, not even on Chromebook. Anyway, so yeah, So you see, once you've made multiple pieces and joined them together, you'll get it like this. And as you see, this symbol means I used joint on it. And if it doesn't have that symbol on there, it means I didn't use joint on it. Or again, ideally you should, but it works, I guess. See, I didn't use joint on that. That's why it moved. On the other hand, if I try moving this channel, it's not going to move because I jointed things together and I grounded that. So yeah. And of course, other pieces you would go through the big folder over there. And so you'd be in this folder and you go to other parts. So usually you find channels and structure. And if you want to use a steel one, which I don't know who's doing that, but anyway, you're probably going to use aluminum and you can search for whatever you want. You can even find different sized ones. Like even if I go to one by ones, I'll find like ones that are multiple hole. Even though we have to cut them, there's already a model for each one. So that's nice. So yeah, that's pretty much all it is. Most of your job when you're doing CAD is dragging things and joining them. You can join them or you can use move, but again, I suggest you use joint because if you accidentally click and drag somewhere, a lot of your stuff is going to get messed up. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that's it for the course. Have fun.